Howdy YouTube, Rand's Garage back here again. Starting my second video of working on the rear end of this thing. Was out searching around the junk pile yesterday and today, and I've come up with this concoction. So it's an old Model A front end, what I might do is I might take this A-arm piece, cut it here, cut it there, cut it there, cut it there. Just use the arms of that, but do a buggy spring instead of the coilovers, because buggy springs gonna have a lot more stability in it, I think, my honest opinion, over the coilovers. Whereas if I did coilovers, I think I have to do a 4-link. But also these, they're like a ball and socket. I think I might take those and weld them to the A-arm and make a connection for the A-arm. Well, not the A-arm, they're not going to be A-arms when it's in there, but it's going to be the arms for the rear end anyway. Make them a ball and socket type. I've been thinking of a few things anyway. That's not set in stone, but I'm going to cut it apart anyway and see what I come up with, see if I like it or not. Alright. Well, the more I've got looking at this thing, I don't think that cross member is going to work for me in there. So I think I'm going to cut that cross member out, because it's going to be in the way of a transmission going in there. It should have been back further and maybe down a little bit more. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Well, there we are, all those pieces dissected off in the axle, that front axle. It was junk anyway. Somebody welded all the things together, and so there wasn't, it'd take more to survive, make it survive than anything. So it's kind of doing the needs that I need from it, you know. So these are gonna be my connections up here. So essentially, I'm gonna take that all apart. I'm gonna probably cut that off, seam it inside there, weld it. It's already got a grease fitting, so the ball and socket inside here will be always greased. Probably need a new grease fitting, but yeah, this part will get welded on the frame, and that kind of controls the rear end a little bit. I know some of you are all thinking, why doesn't he take the body off and then build the frame, then put the body on? Yeah, that does make sense. I agree with you. But they've welded every square inch around the body, so that makes it difficult. And I would have to cut the frame out of the body because of the way they tuck the frame all in. Yeah, so that's a lot of work. So that's pretty neat. So it is what it is. That time to let sparks fly, baby. Woohoo! This ain't gonna work. There we go. closer. A little closer view. Now I gotta go from under. Let's see if we can pop this big area down there. I didn't show you the bottom because it's hard to get a bottom shot. Being feisty. There it is. I banged it up a little bit. It's alright. Give me a more steel every day, but just more expensive. So this is that tie rod that was on the axle. I cut it off. And this is what I'm going to use in the end of my, I guess, my homemade, it's not ladder bars, but axle bars anyway. So what I did is I ground this right flat where the rod was connected to the axle, but ground it flat so that way I could put it up against the side and weld it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. Clean all this up, take this all off, which is an old bolt and clamp style thing. Take all that off, round it off, and then I stick it into the end of that, which was the wishbone thing for the front axle of the other axle, and weld them inside that tube. About 1/4 inch thick around it, so it's plenty rugged. How many want to take a bet whether this grease fitting will come out? If I can get a hold of it. I dug around it a bit, but I don't know if it will go. Oh, something went. She seems to be going. Let's see if I can get it by hand now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Old metal versus new metal. Old, still friggin' undo it. New mixed metal with frickin' tin cans and everything. Good luck. I didn't film the rest of it where I pulled that cross member out. What I did is I got the cross member out, and cleaned up the whole edge. Now once it rusts, you won't even be able to tell. Looks like I got a little bit over there that I'll have to grind off, but yeah, that was just a regular grinder, a grinding disc. Like so, not a cutting disc. It's thicker than a cutting disc, which a lot of people know, but you never know who don't know. So that's that. So I've already done the other side. That's this piece right here, which is the same piece as basically there, just opposite. So there ain't that little bump on it. I cleaned it up so I can weld this into this tube. I'll have to clean it up still, but into that tube, which is part of the other, you know, one of the halves of the AM for a front end. So basically making a bar to support your axle out of other junk. So I'll show you how to cut that one. What I did, yeah, that makes sense. Quiet, Bentley sleeping. So what I did is I cut here, cut this bolt out of there. That way I could pound the bolt through. That all separates anyway. And then I cut one side here, and then nudge it with a hammer. Pop goes the weasel, because the weasel went pop. So now I'm gonna cut this off and then clean this up with a coarse grinding blade with a thicker one there on the other grinder, smoothing her up like I did the other one. So the end result is capiche. Now I'm chopping her off. That was an ugly cut. Well, who knows? That might come in handy later. So, like I said, just take these and I'm going to grind them off. Just smoothing it up. Just like so. Just moving on me. Well, we'll put it in the vise like not working. There we go. So that's what I'm going to do. As you can see, I started. I'm going to do like the other one. And it's going to come out all nice and smooth. Well, somewhat. I'm done cutting that off. Now it's nice and smooth. So, you can either use grinder or you can use a bench grinder. With a wire wheel Maybe let you clean up the wire wheel. That's pretty neat. Well, it's getting late tonight, so I gotta wrap things up.